Now, what are ESG factors? Well, environmental, social, and governance issues have different factors. Let's talk about each one of them. Now, when we talk about environmental issues, what are the major environmental issues that we are facing today? Climate change, natural resource scarcity, and the enormous amount of pollution and waste that we are creating. Now, if we talk about the climate change, it is based on both conventional and the ESG related risk. Natural disasters because of rising temperature is a significant risk. So the mitigation measures which we are going to use incorporating the future climate change because of what we have already done as a damage to the environment is an important factor. So many companies, once they go for a business expansion, they will keep certain amount of funds or finances or resources towards mitigating the environmental degradation which has already happened. So they should not, impact the future, but also account for the impact on the present. Also, changing environment conditions will increase the depletion of natural resources, which are now more important to the stakeholders. So once we conduct due diligence for multinational food company, one of the material risk is to see if the global water supply is going to decrease in the future. The third environmental factor, pollution, is again because of the unlimited amount of production and unlimited usage of the available resources. Pollution can cause health concerns, influence people towards poor health concerns. For example, if there are polluted beaches, it'll impact local tourism. Why would a person visit a beach which is polluted or stinking? So it'll cause a lot of problems, not only to that particular place, but also to the people. So once you're going to invest money in a company or as an investor, you're going to look into the company's ESG factors. That is the company focusing? Is the company targeting? Is the company aware of the pollution which it is going to cause and how it is going to mitigate that important factor? So environmental factors may not impact the company or portfolio directly, but it will certainly have a material impact on the key stakeholders. So what is the impact of environmental factors on corporations? Well, there are certain industries which are more exposed to environmental issues compared to others. They have physical risk, transition risk, and human risk. Now, if we talk about the physical risk, the climate change can physically destroy the infrastructure, which again requires a lot of money, time, and resources. Now, these changes also influence supply and demand. Just for example, if there is a tsunami or a flood in the coastal region, it can impact or destroy the infrastructure created and the real estate of that particular area. And this is going to have huge ramifications. The second is the transition risk. It is a risk which includes shifting of climate and environmental policy associated with technology and the preference of the consumers. For example, some of the companies might invest in electric vehicles, knowing that the petrol is going to be very costly or it is not going to be the future. Certainly, new companies are going to invest more towards electronic vehicles, and hence there will be a transition from petrol vehicles to electrical vehicles, and this will have major ramifications in terms of the transition from petrol to natural resources. Also, severe environmental factors involve human risk such as severe weather, rising temperature, and natural resource scarcity will not be conducive for the workforce, and people might migrate because of the adverse living conditions from certain geographical areas to favorable areas. So the human risk, the transition risk, and the physical risk combined together will impact and have the environmental factors on companies, right? So this is something which we need to definitely take into consideration. Now, if we talk about the social factors, there are a wide range of social factors. For example, the community engagement, the sourcing of workforce, which type of people is the company hiring, the safety the product or the company provides to the customers, the human rights of the labors, how the company manages and keeps its own employees happy. So the regulatory bodies, as we all know, will always call out for more and greater disclosures regarding these issues. So human capital management is a very, very important aspect when it comes to social factors. In a company, there could be skilled labor shortage, there can be uneven wage distribution, and the change in technology. For example, you must have seen the kind of transformatory change artificial intelligence has brought in the field of sales and marketing. I don't need a copywriter now. If I have to write a sales pitch for a company, I can go to ChatGPT and just give a command. It'll give me a nice descriptive sales copy for a product which I want to bring in the market. So this is what and how the social factors will impact the company. Also, the corporate reputation, the customer retention, and the regulatory fines are all the risks from the supply and the product safety angle, right? So this is very, very important. Also, as I said, the human rights and the labor management plays a very important role. The investor who is going to put money in your company would want to have a company in which he's investing a better human right and labor management policies. So as a company, your reputation as an employer plays a very important role. So what is the impact of social factors on corporations? Well, it has a very, very important impact in terms of recruitment, engagement, retention, and productivity and performance of the employees. So if I am going to hire people and employees who are well qualified, have value-based system approach, they are recruited through a proper channel. Their engagement with the company and the policies, their vision and the targets will be more, and they'll be able to retain themselves for longer duration in the company. This will eventually give greater performance, productivity to the company. Also, a mature and a well-qualified framework of ESG has direct impact on the engagement of the employees. That is very, very important. Also, if we talk about the impact of social factors on the corporations, customers play a very, very important role. So if a company is trying to attract new customers, what the customers are looking in a company, that is something which needs to be understood. So the customer is looking for convenience, better price, sustainable environment, social impact, and a good customer experience. So a good ESG framework will converge all these aspects of customer retention, convenience, price, sustainability, its social impact and experience together. Also, the welfare of the community is important. If the community is not happy, not together, the individual may not be able to perform well. The financial and the contributions made to the community can provide insight on how corporations manage the ESG issues. Now we'll talk about the governance factor. The governance covers a wide range of issues that can also be considered environmental or social concerns depending upon how the company categorizes into it. So the government aspect will include the quality of the board of the company, the diversity of the people within the organization, and the effectiveness of the employees, how beautifully they can use the limited number of hours which they use in the office to study for themselves. So their qualification, their accountability measures, their approach to counseling will play a very, very important role. So governance factors includes reporting of the information, bringing more transparency and accountability, along with business ethics, going to play a very, very important governance role. So if we talk about the impact of governance factors, well, regardless of the category, it can enhance or damage the reputation of the company and destroy the consumer trust. For example, employees no longer spend an entire company in a single organization. So they also understand the limitations under which the employee is working, failing which they sometimes defy or shy themselves of taking any strict action against the employees as well.